So Larry had given me a Honda Bagger. I don't really need it, so I put it online for 40 bucks. Left it in between my van and my wife's car. And I told the dude, if it fits your mower, he brought it with him to test. Leave 40 bucks under the windshield wiper and take it away. Hey Boba, do you think that they were honest? Did they leave us the money? Come on, man. There it is. 40. Honest people these days, huh?
COVID.
Hey guys, so it's the night that I uploaded yesterday's video. How's that? Or no? Well, you know what I mean. Anyway, so I was texting with Larry, and Larry told me that the Scott's deck that he had was off of a Scott's by John Deere. So the Scott's deck that he has is a John Deere deck, not a Murray deck, so it's not going to fit. So I'm going to have to find some kind of deck for my Scott's, right? While I was texting with him, this was yesterday, right? He noticed that there was a listing on Craigslist for 2 tractors that was locally around here in Northport, right? And while at the time I still had the yard machines in my truck, so I couldn't go get it because it would take forever to unload because it's a hydro, you know? And the tires are all flat. It took me forever to get it out of my van today. So anyway, I was just texting with him, and he said he drove over to look at it, and he said it was a Toro. So it's nighttime. It's 11 o'clock at night, I just said, gee, I wonder if that thing is still there, because actually, I could use the engine out of it, because he said it's a 1338, right? Usually probably a XL, you know? And I'm going to go jump in my van and go to Northport and see if that Toro is still there. There's another tractor there with the big snowblower thing on it, you know? I'm going to take you with me and show you what I find. Hope it's still there. The listing is still on Craigslist, and he says that he would remove the listing once it's gone. Garbage day isn't on today's Monday? Oh, shoot, maybe garbage day. I'm going to go see. So I'm here, and this is a Dayton with a snowplow. And here's the Toro, 1338. Of course, there's no 38, but I'm pretty sure there's a 13. Tires hold air. It should roll right into my van. So, the steering is frozen, so I had to maneuver a little bit. Got it lined up right there to the van. I'm definitely not taking that. But it has a 13 horsepower flathead in it. And even if the engine is bad, I could use the intake and exhaust valves for the one from my Murray Select. Get that going.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Good morning, it's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. As you guys saw last night, I went and picked up that Toro 1338 lawn tractor. It was along with another Dayton, an older lawn tractor that had actually that snowblower attachment to it. But that thing was so heavy, and a lot of it was all rusted shut. You know what I mean? I did manage to strip the Dayton engine. It had like I want to say 11 horsepower, really old engine. Had that longitudinal flow jet, one-piece flow jet, you know, that old, you know. But it had the starter motor cover, You know, that thing that's always missing from the shrouds. So I managed to get these cheapy tools that I had in my van that I threw in there in case I needed it one day. And sure enough, I found it in my glove compartment and used those tools to get that cover off. I also scored a core exchange. It's a battery. And I was going to take the starter motor, right? But it was like seized on there, rusted shut. So, and the ring gear was all messed up. So I said, forget about it. I would have loved to just like strip that thing down there, but the thing was so heavy, there's no way I would have come home, dropped off the Toro, went back there to get it. No way I would have done it. It would have been more of a headache to get rid of the carcass than it would just to get some parts off of it. And all that stuff was so super old anyway. However, I probably could have used the intake and exhaust valves off that engine. Because I'd need those valves to get my Murray Select 13.5, the one with the grinded down valves. I just need 2 valves and that engine will start. Because it still has 75 PSI compression, you know. Anyway, as you saw from yesterday's episode, I got this Kohler Command 15 running. Well, it turned over with go-go juice, right? But I didn't want to blow it all out in here because it was a mess. It would be a mess. So today's a nice day. It's very windy though. Maybe it'll blow the stuff over to the neighbor's yard. No, I like my new neighbors. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to push this Scots out. And, well, that's the thing is I need to get the Toro out of my van too. So maybe I'll push the Scots to the side somewhere and then get the van in the back. Remove the Toro, show you what I got from last night. I don't think the Toro is salvageable. It's got great parts, such as the hood is intact, which is amazing. And I think all 4 wheels hold air, which is amazing too. So if the engine runs, I'm going to strip it of its engine and then probably just tear it down, keep the parts that I might need. Because the steering is, I mean, that steering is worse than the John Deere steering. At least the John Deere steering, I freed it up. This one, you can't even budge it a centimeter. I'm telling you. Just stuck, you know? So I'm going to get to it. After I get the Toro out of here, I'm going to try to fit that in this garage, believe it or not, you know? We'll move this out, blow out the engine, right? Clean the carburetor, fuel lines, fuel tank, and see if we can get this baby running today. So, of course, Quinn the mailman came, and that's right, didn't get much done, just talked about all kinds of crap, you know what I mean? So check this out. This is the Toro, right? Rough shape, huh? However, the hood is in really good shape. I mean, considering, you know what I'm saying? No cracks anywhere, and it's adhered nicely to the bracket, the pivot bracket. It's really rare. I've never had a Toro hood this good. And so it's not a 1338, it's a 1238 XL, exactly like the one that I just sold, you know, for $375 or something, you know. So listen, obviously it looks terrible, right? Seat's no good. Well, I mean, it could be repaired, but it's pretty rusted. Look at that. This is rusted through right over here. There's a hole. I even thought about putting my hook on my winch to use that hole. It was so big. So it's a 1238 XL, typical. It's got a battery. Man, it looks like this thing was outside for years. There's no way that battery's gonna work. No way. My air compressor sucks. It leaks a little air, so it goes off every time. Look at that. This is almost like dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like if you put your foot through there and cut your leg, you'll die eventually. So, and also the steering. Here, check out the steering. Let me get you over here. Here, now you can see. Yeah, there you go. Doesn't budge at all without breaking the gears. So, I'm not gonna fix this. I will take the gas tank. Oh. Engine is free and has compression. I can hear it. Zzz. Pretty good compression, actually. I'm gonna flip turn the other way. Yep, I can hear it. Here, microphone. Hear it? Yeah. So looks like this engine is good. It's a 12.5. Quiet. So look, it was on the street. Larry didn't take it because he said it was too rough. I thought to myself, if it's got a good engine, at the very least I could use the intake and exhaust valves to try to fix that other thing, you know? But this engine looks like it might be good, you know? So I'm not going to do it now. I want to take care of the Scots and get it out of here, you know? Then I'll work on this, then I'll work on that. As a matter of fact, I might take this engine and put it on that. You know, the Yard Machines, the Nick from Medford one. So I'm going to push this into the garage. I just pumped up the tires. Looks like they hold air. It's amazing. I'm going to strip this down when I get a chance. And then for now, we're going to blow the engine compartment out of all the crap and the mouse nest and all that other stuff, the remnants of it. And clean the carb and get this thing running, and hopefully this thing will move forward and backwards. So as you saw from the time lapse, my battery ran out again. I don't know how much I got into it, but last thing you guys saw was me taking the carburetor out and attempting to clean it. So the carburetor wasn't necessarily that dirty. Gaskets were kind of bad, so I had to swap them out, right? In addition, what's notorious on the Kohler commands? That's right, they're notorious for leaking gas. Reason why is their design of the needle. The needle in the seat, it's the super thin one, thin needle with an orange rubber tip that goes into the metal seat area, right? They also have the fatter needles that don't have the rubber tip that goes into a rubber seat. Get it? Same with all the other ones too, you know? But this one has the thin needle, orange rubber tip, and a metal seat. So the tip is kind of frayed, so it's gonna leak, you know? So I went and looked in my bin of parts and I found 3 old Kohler ones, and guess what kind of needle those were? That's right, the other kind. So looks like I might have to go dig in deep and spend about, I don't know, I forget, $10, $15 for a Kohler carburetor. I'll probably leak anyway. So let me get you closer here. I put on a fuel shutoff and changed the fuel lines. So I'm going to turn on the fuel just to show you, and let it trickle a little bit, and it will slowly drip, 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 because it's not a good seat. It's okay, but it's not a good seat. I put the air filter back on, cleaned up this area, and I found out that the brake safety switch actually works. As you guys can see, look. Drippage. Anyway, so look. It's dripping like a mother. Not that mother's drip, but you guys know what I mean. But it's dripping pretty good. Let me shut this off again while I talk. So it's dripping pretty good. I gotta get a new carburetor because I mean, while I have 3 other, you know, Kohler carburetors, right? None of them have the seat I need, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess I could maybe try to make one of these work, but you know what, why bother? You know, I already spent so much time on this already, as it is. So, I actually started this up, guys. It runs great. I adjusted the fuel mixture screw, I adjusted the idle screw, it all runs great. Except, it wouldn't start for a while, and I didn't understand why. So I thought it was the frayed, magneto kill wire at first, and then I thought it was the magneto itself. So I got another magneto, getting ready to replace it, but I didn't do it because I noticed that the magneto, while it looks rusty, it wasn't the magneto wire that was bad. It was actually just the magneto kill wire that was bad, right? So I connected it back onto where it was. It wasn't connected, right? And it still wouldn't start unless I took this off the magneto, right? And so then it occurred to me that this magneto wire is running through the safety switches. So I tried something and I just stepped on the brake and tried to turn it, and it works. So it works as it should, you know? The bypass was only for the solenoid to start the engine, but as for the magneto, it still works along with the safety switch. So while it was running, right, I wanted to see if it moved forward and backwards, and it didn't, okay? And so I remembered that when I put the wheels on, just to get this out of that ditch in the farm, whatever, that guy's house next to the barn, I took the keyways out, the keys from the keyways, so that it would roll freely. So I put the keyways back on, and it actually moves forward and backward. It doesn't move backward using this. It'll go forward. As you push this forward, look at the pedal. Pedal also moves forward, right? But when you pull it back to go in reverse, it doesn't. So the rod that connects this to that needed to be turned a few threads, which is what I did. I don't know if it works. But if it doesn't work, right, to go backwards, you just take your arm and pull this back more, and then it'll go backwards. So you guys ready to see it? I know the fuel leaking, I got a towel there, you know. It's kind of ridiculous, you know, but I'm turning the fuel on, taking the towel away. I hope it don't cause a fire because the hot muffler with the thing, you know. Oh, let's see. All right, I'm gonna step on the brake. Here we go. So this thing, it's all the way in the back. It won't go back, right? You gotta, let me see if I push it. All right. So that adjustment that I did, turning the rod in a couple of threads, gave it some more clearance. Listen to it idle. This is at the very lowest idle. Doesn't surge, runs great. Stokage. Turn the key, and it shuts off. Fantastic. I got to put the fuel shut off on because it's going to leak gas all over the place. That's the only bad thing about it, so I do have to get a new carb. That's all. So I'm pretty stoked. This is episode 2 of this Scott's Murray, right? This engine runs great. Sounds fantastic. I'm going to add a little bit of oil to it. I'm going to try to, I'm going to seal this. I'm going to put tape around this magneto wire. The bolts are broken. 1, 2, 3, 8mm bolts are broken. You can see the studs right over here. Let me show you. See, the top part of the bolt just came right off here and there. So I don't know how I'm going to secure the cover on here very well unless I just use some self-tapping screws and try to drill into it or something, or take it out. So I'm going to put some tape around here. I'm going to try to get the cover back on here again. As you saw during the time lapse, I cleaned out the gas tank, changed the fuel lines, and added new gas. And like I said, I do need a new carburetor. Now I got to go get the panels out. So I got to get the panels out, the hood, side panels. I'm going to try to secure that front bull bar thing. There was a subscriber who said, why don't I save the bull bar push bumper, right, for my Rodimus Prime? That sounds like a pretty good idea, actually. Why should I give that nice bumper away when I could use it for my own personal item, right? That's what you do when you have your own good stuff. When you get better stuff, you keep the better stuff and you put it on your own stuff, right? Anyway, do you think I have any bolts to put this stuff together? Did I get any bolts? No! Of course I didn't get any bolts. So I probably will spend a couple hours looking for the right bolts to get it on here, because these Kohlers, they're not necessarily 3/8 or 7/16. They're all 10mm and 8mm and 14mm, you know, so it's millimeters. I don't have millimeters bolts that much, you know? So it's going to be kind of a challenge, but let me put you on time lapse again because it's going to take forever. So, you ready for this? Oh, I put everything together again, right? And then I connected the lights, right? Connected this to this, which is the only wire that's hanging out, right? So, I started up, or I tried to, and it wouldn't start, right? Almost like it's hydrolocked. Then I look under here, there's dripping gas into the muffler, so I think it's hydrolocked. And then, look what happened. White smoke came out, electrical smell. I almost had an electrical fire, right? Smoke came pouring out, right? And I ran over here and I snipped the wires because I had to stop the power from getting to that wiring harness. So when I was just about to start it up, it hydrolocked, something happened, maybe the lights aren't connected, but then if the lights were wrong, this would be fried, you know what I mean? So if the lights wires are not fried, then I wonder why it all fried over there, you know? I mean, trashed. This whole harness is just melted. So, oh boy. So, while I got the engine running right after the time lapse, I was going to clean up my carburetor mess, right? And so I saw this one that looked pretty good. So I put that one together, right? And I put it on instead of the other one that leaked. It didn't look like it was leaking, but given what we just saw, it wasn't leaking from the bowl or anything like that. Rather, it was leaking into the carburetor and into the crankcase. So I need to get another carburetor for sure. And now, of course, I popped open a liquid ice energy drink so I could celebrate, right? It is very refreshing, by the way. And this thing happens, you know? So I really don't know why it fried the entire harness. I'm not sure. I think maybe the starter was working too hard to crank. Maybe the ring gear got caught up on the flywheel due to the gas hydrolock, right? And that might have been it. The hydrolocking of the gas, the ring gear of the starter got hung up on the flywheel, right? I kept on cranking and cranking. It heated up the wires, right? Too much. Burned through. Caused another wire next to it to burn too. And then it crisscrosses, negative, positive, causing it to fry. That's a possibility. And I think that's probably what happened. Unfortunately now, I'm going to have to redo the entire electrical system, right? But I'm just going to rip out this wiring harness, right, existing, and do what I always do, which is bypass everything. All you need is positive, negative, solenoid, and magneto. Those 4 wires for this thing to run. That's all you need, you know? So I think I have a bunch of ignition switches. I'll look through my pile of spaghetti and see if I can find a wiring harness with at least 4 wires connected to those tabs that I need, which I'm sure I can. Rewire the whole thing again. It shouldn't take too long. I've done it so many times, you know what I mean? It's a pain in the butt, but I've done it a lot. Hooking up the lights is another story. But I'll work it out, you know? But as you guys saw, we got this thing running, driving. Engine was running really well. I still have to get a carburetor. But what am I going to do with another hauler? You know what I mean? Although the transmission does seem to work pretty well. Runs and drives. Well, it did before. But, I mean, it's kind of like a positive, negative kind of a day. You know, yes, I'm stoked that it was running and driving, right? And the engine running really well, actually, you know. Do need a carburetor. And I fried my ignition system, you know, the entire electrical system, I fried it. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me today. I'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.